Hi there, Sonicguru here. Now, firstly, I must apologise for not keeping on top of my reviews. I completely missed out on March and my last review came out a little bit too late. So, to make up for it, I'm going to review 4 games I've recently played. That's right, 4. To start off, we're going to take a look at Wet.
Developed by Artificial Minor Movement and published by Bethesda, Wet was an attempt to combine the gameplay aspects of both John Woo Stranglehold and Prince of Persia. Sadly, the combination of these games doesn't work that well. You'll find yourself fumbling through the controls more than often when the game requires you to switch between third-person shooter and free-run platforming. Or worse, do them both at the same time. Also, the game had quick-time events in case the controls didn't piss you off the first time. The story itself doesn't save the game either, since it's boring, cliched, forgettable at times.
It involves Ruby, who does a job for someone, and a year later does a job for the guy's father, who then betrays her, and she's after revenge, and that's pretty much it. Nothing special.
The only parts of the game I enjoyed were the car signal levels where you leap from vehicle to vehicle while shooting enemies, and the rage levels where everything goes red, black, white and shell shaded. Which brings us to the design aspect of the game. The graphics have a gritty near-realistic approach, but with a grindhouse style. It's actually not that bad. But the levels are linear and sometimes it's hard to distinguish between what's a climbable platform or not. The soundtrack is worth mentioning since it's one of the best soundtracks I've heard in the game.
It's nothing you haven't played before. It is mindless exciting action from beginning to end with few enjoyable moments.
I rate this game 6.9 out of 10.
Right, next up, Mega Man 10.
Now here's another game that added the nostalgia rebirth pile of games. Mega Man 10 is yet again another return to form, much like its predecessor. But I must be honest, I actually enjoyed Mega Man 9 more.
Now, I'm only saying that because I'm not much of a Mega Man fan. The only other Mega Man games I played were Network Transmission for the GameCube, X Command Mission for the PS2, and like I said before, Mega Man 9.
But that's not to say that Mega Man 10 is a bad game. It's solid platforming action at its finest with the familiar Mega Man formula. But if you want to see a full review of Mega Man 10, I suggest watching the Happy Video Game Nerd review on it.
Now, I would only recommend Mega Man 10 if you've played Mega Man 9.
I rate this game 8.9 out of 10.
Third is Darksiders.
Now I must be honest, I haven't actually completed this yet. That's mainly because it's a huge game and has lots of similarities to Zelda. Now for someone who's already actually played these kind of action-adventure games before, expect nothing new.
Now we'll talk about the gameplay, but if you've played Zelda or God of War beforehand, then you've played this.
The story involves War, first of the 4 Horsemen, trying to clear his name and find the one responsible for bringing the apocalypse before the 7th seal was broken.
Since I haven't completed Darksiders yet, I'm not going to rate it. Let's move on to the final game, which is Sonic and the Black Knight.
Being the second installment to the storybook series, Sonic is sent to the world of King Arthur, who has been possessed by evil and has become the Black Knight.
Firstly, I want to say I was sceptical about Sonic having a sword, but I wasn't annoyed or pissed off like other Sonic fans were. And when I started playing it, I wasn't that bothered.
Okay, I was a little, but that was because of the controls. I'm glad that Sega decided to use the nunchuck for movement instead of the remote, which is now used for sword swings. But even that hardly works. Honestly, I actually enjoy playing this game. The story is probably the best written in the franchise, the music is beautiful, and the cinematics are brilliant. But I think they spent way too much time on those aspects than the overall game, because I've completed it in 5 hours. That's pretty disappointing when Secret Rings and Unleashed each took me 10 hours or more to complete.
Okay, I know for a fact that some Sonic fans out there expect me to bash this game, but I'm not, I'm better than that. Besides, we'll save it for something else.
I will give one thing about this game of bashing, and that's the RPG element. Unlike Sonic and Secret Rings, which allows you to have multiple upgrades and abilities for 4 different rings, Black Knight compresses it all down to only 3 upgrades per character. That may be a small complaint to some people, but it annoys me. Well, like any other Sonic game, Sonic and the Black Knight is playable. The main story doesn't last that long, which will please some Sonic fans, and there's plenty of replay value including a multiplayer mode and a gallery mode that like secret rings. Plus, the fan art from Black Knight contest can be viewed too.
Although I enjoy playing it, the controls need a lot more work.
Sadly, I rate this game 6.1 out of 10.
And those are my opinions on these 4 games, except for Darksiders. Hopefully this makes up for me missing out on a few things, like March. But don't worry, next month we're getting back on track and be surprised what I have lined up.